Good evening, Facebook. How you doing? Or Facebook and YouTube, actually. How are you doing? My name, of course, is Chris Cole, and I have gone live streaming, and I'm actually geeking out. So if you would forgive me, as I kind of what we say, learn as I go, make my mistakes as I go. I'm willing to get out there and do it. And there's only one way to learn, and that's actually put yourself out there. And it's what I recommend that you do whenever you're doing your live streaming as well. Now, I'm hoping that I'm coming to you all good, loud and clear, looking nice, good quality image going on. Obviously, good quality audio coming through as well. All of that good stuff coming through over on facebook.com. I actually see a few of the comments coming in. I see Mark John Beniston has actually put nice. Mark, if you're there, hopefully you can see that I'm able to push the live comments over on to the actual live stream. And also Keith Riley, he's waiting for the end of a great British menu. Now, what I'll do is I'll push Keith Riley's comment on as well. You can actually see just the difference. A few glitches that I'm not happy with. I have a bit of green screen going on, and in the background there's a bit of noise. It's a lighting level thing that I've got to do with my green screen, but I'm happy enough. Yes. Keith, I see that there, the bit of the haze on the background to the left. I know that I need more lighting. I only actually have, it's hard to see, but I only have the one softbox. I do have another light. I need to get it in and get it in use. And then that way I'll get the green screen evenly lit. And then obviously what that's going to do is that's going to hopefully get rid of that. Now, as promised, what I was going to do was I was going to show you lower thirds and what I'm creating as I start to build my platform, as I start to build my profile, and as I start to build the live shows and the live streams that I'm going to start delivering. I have been tinkering in the background, looking to build my own, and I thought, well, why not teach other people that are live streaming how to do this? Why not teach other people that are looking to do a video, even recorded videos or live videos, where they can go and create their own alpha channel, lower thirds, where you don't have to go and purchase them. And honestly, if you follow this tutorial and if you have Keynote, then you've got everything you need. Obviously that, and then obviously you can go to YouTube, do a bit more digging, and then it's all down to your creativity in what you want to create. Now, some of the lower thirds that I'm talking about is here is I've got an absolute basic one that I'm putting in on. Number one, the basic as I'm calling it. You'll see the camera angles have changed slightly as well. What I'll do is if I transition back to that again, what I want you to do is watch the lower left hand side for the lower third. Now, timing issues all aside, I will discuss the timing issues as we get into it, and I'll show you how to do that. But for example purposes, you'll see the lower third coming in. It's John Doe with yourwebsite.com. Mark John Beniston saying I need more lighting on the other side of my face. I guess I'm playing about with my various lights that I have. Hopefully that's a bit better. I understand there's various shades around the room. So anyway, that's that. That's the first lower third. The next one I have, I'm starting to brand myself. As I told you, I was looking to build my own branding. One of the things that I pushed in this one was Christopher Cole's Broadcast Geeks. You'll see as I bring it in, it actually animates in, and then obviously has a bit of a lens flare going on with it, and then disappears nicely off. Then what I did was I continued on, and this third one I actually quite like. This third one, again, I built this in Keynote. It animates in, and then obviously I've set this to actually stay or remain on the screen until I set it to remove. And then I want another stage further. I set this one where I've actually started to get fancy, and all of this that I'm putting onto the screen, you can actually build yourself. You can add as much information. You can add your website, your name, images, logos, all of that good stuff, even how people can get in contact with you. Now, as I said, this particular one that I'm just going to play again, you'll see that it animates in. It does a pause, and then I also have the animation out. It's why I told you earlier the timing issue that I had in the first few. I actually didn't have this set up, but what I've done is I've gone through a full motion where everything happens in a sequence into the shot. I give it my delay time, and then everything happens in a sequence till it leaves the shot. So all I need to do is hit play on it, and everything else runs smooth. So again, watch as I hit play. You'll see the animation in. The broadcast geeks with the logo appears, and then obviously it's going to swipe off to the side, disappear, and then the lines will cross and go out. Finally, and this is the one that I'm actually going to show you how to build, and then finally I created another one which I've called angles, and once I animate this one in, you'll actually see why I've called it angles. Again, all I'm doing is playing about in Keynote, playing about with what I can do, and you'll see I've got the lower third title here. You can have whatever relevant information in the lower third corner, and then obviously at the top I've got the company tagline, and if there was a company logo, then what I would do is add that in as well. So this particular one, this particular lower third is one I'm going to show you. If you get the principles of this one, then obviously the rest of them are pretty much similar as well. So I'm going to transition over onto my other screen, and I'm going to actually show you, hopefully, there we go. So what I've actually got at the moment is, let me see if I get myself up to the top, and if I put myself like that, hopefully that's a bit better, and I'm out of the road of the actual lower third. So looking at the screen, you'll see it's quite a subtle but quite a nice looking lower third that done the animation. I'm going to build that from scratch, so I'm going to go File, I'm going to go select a New. I want a blank presentation, so I'm going to select Create, and you'll see now that I have a blank file, completely raw, completely blank, built up and ready to go. What I want to do is literally delete everything off the actual slide so that I have a basic template. Now, one of the most important things that you want to do in regards to your slide documents, if you're going and you're streaming live, generally your ratio, your screen size, you want to set your slide size to match that. And the reason why you do that is when you lift and drag the alpha channel video file and drop it on top of your actual software or whatever you're doing, it's the correct proportions, and that way you don't need to make any adjustments. So generally you can either have the standard, which is your square slide, but by what we're doing, and by default you should actually work in 16:9. Let me just say fit slide, and that way you've got that letterbox shape. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to come back to the format, and for the color fill, I want to select, and this is really, really important, by the way, is no fill. You must select no fill. It may go black, and if that clashes with your logo design, then you need to remember to do your design first, and then before you go to render this out, you must go back and select no fill, and it will go back to the black screen. But because it doesn't clash with what we're designing with, I'm doing it first. But you must remember, and I can't stress this, to make it as what would you say, as significant as it needs to be, is you must select no fill before you render out your movie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building up my slide. What I want to do is I want to start inserting a few things. Of course, I want to insert a line. What happened? Where did the line go? Shape. Line. It must be the actual. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go back to my format. I'm going to go back, change my no fill. I'm going to put it white so that I can see my two lines. I actually wasn't able to see the lines there, and what I want to do is get them horizontal and get them full width of the actual slide. Again, I'm going to get my second line. Full width. Select the two of them. And move them down. Next, what I want to do is I want to insert a rectangle, which of course is going to be the white background. And again, it goes full width, like so. And then obviously I'm going to add my colors to that. So shape fill, I am going to put it white. You cannot see it in this particular instance, but it will change whenever I drop this across. The software, Keith, you'll see Keith Riley's asking what software is it that I'm using. The software itself is Keynote. It's native to the Mac. Generally, it's native to the Mac. So it's literally Apple's version of PowerPoint software. Now, I'm not sure if you can or can't do this in PowerPoint, so I don't want to steer you away from it. If you have Keynote, use Keynote to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with the line itself. I want to give it a nice subtle blue. I want to make it a bit thicker. And then likewise with the next one, subtle blue, and then obviously the same thickness. Now, whenever I come back to my slide, I can go back to no fill. And you'll now see the basis of what we had in the previous one, which was the broadcast geeks and obviously the two lines as I had shown you. What I also need to do when I'm doing this is decide what text, decide what logos, and get that positioned in as well. So I've added in broadcast geeks. You again add whatever you want. It's obviously your lower third. It's what you're wanting to do, and again, it's a matter of you playing about with the text. Get it to how you like it. Get it to how you want it. Choose a font that you like. Let me see, what font will I use? Maybe go with Impact. See how that is, and then I'm going to make that bigger. Once I'm happy, then I'm going to for whatever reason, I know why. Text. So I'm going to put that in again separately because I think it's done a shape fill, and I am going to choose Impact, and I'm going to go 100. So there's a reason why I want this on a separate layer. And the reason for one on the separate layer is because I want a separate animation between the background and obviously the text itself. And then finally, what I want to also do is I want to drop in a logo. So I'm going to go into my image files. I'm going to find my logo that I want. And then literally I'm going to drag and drop the PNG logo into play. So drag and drop, and you'll see it should add in. I don't know why it's done that. Why did that do that? Edit, redo. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that into a different position. For whatever reason, it removed the white background. So position the logo where you want it. And again, if you want to add in a website, a web URL, any other text, any other fonts, any other graphical design things, then of course you can do that the same. But I'm obviously going to just leave it as it is. Now, all I need to do is basically set up my animations so that I'm happy with it. So what I'll do is I'll select particular items one by one, and I'm going to animate in and then animate out. So I've got the line. I'm going to animate, so I'm going to add an effect. What I want to do with this one is move in. If I do a preview of it, move in, you'll actually see there's a subtle wipe across. So I want that to move in, I wanted to do it a bit snappier than that. If I do a preview now, it's 0.7 of a second. Bring it down to half a second. It's a bit too fast. 0.6 of a second, and it comes in from left to right. Now the bottom line, I also want to do the same. Add effect. It's going to be move in. It's going to come down to 0.6 of a second from right to left. Then if I come to build order, I didn't want that. So I need to change that, and I need that to dissolve, and then finally the bottom line. If I get it, add an effect, move in, that's going to be right to left. And then if I look at the order, you'll see I've chosen build order. So I'm saying line, the top line, then the bottom line, and then the rectangle. If I hit preview, line 2 needs to come after build 1 or with build 1. I'll say with build 1. And then the rectangle is going to come after build 2. So that's the sequence that comes. If I press play, you see the two lines appear in, and then the white background then fades into play. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to choose my text. And with my text, what I wanted to do is compress. If I do a preview on the compress, you'll see what it's done. So if I choose the compress, I want to maybe slow that down a bit. It wants to come in. I don't like the bounce option myself. If I hit play, it's maybe a wee bit slow. Preview again. I like that. And then I'm happy enough with that. So the Broadcast Geeks comes in after build 3. So if I preview the whole sequence, you'll see it comes in, the white background fades, and then obviously the text fades in. What I then want to happen is for the logo itself to appear. So it's going to come and it's going to move in, but this time I want it to come from the right to the left. It's going to take 0.7 of a second, and I want that to come in after build 4. If I preview that at the two lines, the white background, and then obviously the logo comes in. Now, there is a bit of a delay between that. I want it to come in with build 4, and then what I'm going to do is build in a delay. The reason being is the logo seemed to be coming in a bit too slow. So I'm going to preview it again. The text comes in, and then the logo comes in. There's a bit of a bounce, which I didn't like, so I'm going to remove the bounce. If you like the bounce, of course, you're welcome to leave the bounce. I'm quite happy with that. That is the full animation in. That's the sequence. So when I hit for my lower third to come on, essentially what's going to happen is it's going to start with nothing. Then you get the two lines coming in with the wipe. You get the white fading in, then the text, and then obviously the logo. Now, bearing in mind, what I can also do is I can come out of the format. I can choose, for example, the rectangle. In the color fill option, then I can bring the opacity down to, say, 85%. And then that way you can see the video below it, which some people like as well. I leave it as the 85%, and we'll take it from there. If I then go to the animation stage, come back through the process, only in this stage what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the way out. So it's going to be obviously it's going to come in, it's going to show itself on the screen for a period of time, and then after the period of time, what it's then going to do is it's going to animate back out. So I'm going to literally build the reverse of what I've done. Again, you can do whatever you want. You can let it come in one particular way and then animate it out in a completely different way. But I just like the actual move out and the same sequence. Only what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a delay in behind that after the sequence starts, so that there's a period of time where I obviously have everything on the screen. It allows people time to look at the lower third, go through all of the information, sort of kind of digest what it's telling them, and then it animates and it removes itself back off the screen. So it's going to go left to right. Then I want to do the other line. And build out, add an effect, and I want to move out. and that's going to go right to left. 0.7, 0.7, and they were 0.6. So put that to 0.6, put that to 0.6. Then I've got my background, and again on the build out, I want it to preview disappear, dissolve, and 0.8 of a second. That's okay. And then obviously what I also want to do whenever the actual white background disappears, I also want the text. What I want to do with the text is I want it to expand and then disappear off the actual screen. So fly out, for example. Yeah, we'll go with fly out in this particular one. And it's going to take... again, I can change the order of this once I've got everything into play. Put a build out, add an effect, preview fade and scale. No. Fade and move. Yes, I like that. Fade and move. And that's pretty much everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the fade out or the move out. Again, there's going to be a delay on that. So it's going to be after build 5, and there's going to be a delay of, say, 3 seconds. So 3 seconds. That is going to come in with build 6, with build 6. Then the rectangle is going to come in after build 7 with a delay, I believe I put on the rectangle. No, I didn't put a delay in the previous one. And then the text is going to come in after build 8. And then finally the logo is going to come in after build 9 with a delay. So let's preview that from the start. So that's it animating in. Text comes in nicely. I get 3 seconds where it's on the screen. It starts to animate out. And I've got the text and the logo. The text and the text and the logo should disappear before the rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the rectangle downwards to the bottom and then preview the sequence again. So it gives 3 seconds of a pause with all of the information on the screen. It animates out, and then obviously the rectangle dissolves and disappears. Now the actual rectangle itself, I think it wants to go a wee bit faster. So animate in. Again, it's up to yourself. What you need to do is play about with these settings. See what you like, what you don't like. And again, it's a matter of you just keeping going with it until you're happy with the animation. So for example, if I was happy with this complete animation and I'm ready to render this out, just give it a second, let that play. I'll leave it there. So I'm ready, I'm happy with this animation. One final thing, as I said, as I was stressing to you earlier, what you need to do in regards to this is your background, you must select no fill. Then what we're looking to do is we're looking to export our single Keynote file to a movie. This is also very, very important for the movie. I'm just playing about with a few settings. You must select custom. And then obviously what you can do is you could do 1280 or 1920, depending on what you're happy with. Obviously image quality and also the file size. But for me, I'm going to do 1920. And as I click across, you'll see it automatically gives me 1920 by 1080. And then the final thing that you must select is the Apple ProRes 4444. That's your alpha channel. That gives you the alpha channel that you need. So select the alpha channel and export with transparent backgrounds. Select next. And I'm going to give this a title of live example. Live example lower third. Live example lower third, and then export. So what I'm now going to do is I am going to create a new scene. In the new scene, in the software, you'll actually see it's actually gone over to the webcam. I'm going to choose a different camera source. So camera, Canon. You see, I can actually do this live on the fly as we speak. And that's one of the fantastic things about this particular software. Let's see, fade level, play about with those settings. And then if I blur the background, bring that down. Now I need to zoom in the camera, bring it down. You actually see this is a very, very, very cool piece of software. What I can do now is I can find my file. So I'm going to go and find the video file or the movie file that we've just created. And I titled that live stream. Live example lower third was what I called it. Live example lower third. I seen it 2 seconds ago. Live example lower third. Drag that in as a movie file. And you'll see now that I should be pushing that. It should be coming out live. You'll see it animating in. It's animated out. It's done exactly as I've asked it to do. And that's how quick and easy it is to create a lower third. Now, if I come back into my scenes again, you can see my screen. This is what I've literally just built. This is the one I'd previously shown you on the live. What I've also got, just close that, is this one here, which literally what I'd done was I had inserted, and then it was probably the parallelogram, and then obviously I built that over layers and changed the colors. So it's a parallelogram and then a white one below it, and then a blue one slightly longer, and then a white one, and then a blue one. Built it up as a layer and then grouped them all. So I selected them all and created a group, so that whenever I set up the animation, I'm actually animating the complete group. And you'll see there that it's a left to right. If I choose preview, you'll see the full animation being played. After that, then again, shapes. It's only shapes that I built. Now you can do this with images as well. So what you can do is you can get creative. You can open up any video editing software. Once you open up the video editing software, then create the images that you want, bring them across into Keynote, and then also once you've got them in Keynote, then you can render that out and create your lower thirds. Keith Riley saying that you would hopefully, thanks Chris, have run a Mac for years and didn't know that the software existed. Let me just play about with this. Didn't know the software existed. I've just downloaded it from the App Store. You might be seeing this in my cooking video soon if I can get it to work on Wirecast. Keith, let me know if you... I'm just going to put it back onto the broadcast. Let me know how you get on with that, either in PMs or come back and let me know, because at the end of the day, I would be interested. And if there's for some reason it's not working on Wirecast, I'm kind of one of these people, a bit like a detective. I'm going to go off and try and find out why. But with Keynote, and if you render the movie out as the various settings that I told you, as I said, the few key things that you need to remember is no fill in the background for your actual slide itself. And then whenever you're exporting it as a movie, then you need to ensure that you choose the Apple 4444 resolution, and that should work for you. Let me know if it doesn't work, and if not, then obviously I'm going to investigate into that and show you how to do that. So, coming back to the final camera, it's Chris Cole again. I hope you found that tutorial helpful. Obviously, if you've any further questions, there's Mark Gardner. Completely different. Bloody hell, Chris, you look great. DM me so we can swap numbers. Yes, it has been, Mark. It's been a long, long time. A lot's happened since we've chatted last. Good to see you dropping in on the live broadcast. I was just doing a bit of a training tutorial tonight. I'm actually, believe it or not, playing about with my own settings, because my intention moving forward is to do a lot more of these, is to get better at these. I've been out of the loop for far too long with various things that have happened in personal side of things, and with me getting back into it. there's only one way to get better, and that's by making your mistakes as you go live, by using the various equipment and the various technology that I have available to me. And of course, I'm going to talk about the various technology and how I'm doing what I'm doing in my live streams to get hopefully the better and improving quality that I have as I move on. So fingers crossed that's hopefully helped a lot of you that have viewed this. I hope you found it helpful, and as always, if you've any questions whatsoever, what you want to do is even use the comments area below. The comments area below, again, will still notify me even after the live. I'll obviously reply or try and help as best I can. And again, you never know, one of the comments might even inspire me to go on and make another video, go on and make another tutorial, whatever it is, and obviously hopefully help you out in the process. So again, I hope you found this helpful. Before I go, and this is a bit silly, I don't actually have an out-and-out lower third set up for this. Broadcast Geeks, if you search for it on Facebook, you'll hopefully find the Broadcast Geeks group, Facebook group. Come across into there and join in on me, because eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to draw away from my own personal profile and only do the likes of this stuff via the Broadcast Geeks page and via the Broadcast Geeks group, because I don't want to annoy my personal friends with my marketing type of stuff and my geekery type of stuff. So come across to the group, join in, ask your questions. You'll get me in there, and hopefully you'll start to get a lot of other great folks in there. But failing that there, of course, Chris Cole signing off. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll speak to you all shortly in another tutorial or live stream video.